Welcome. And I get asked a lot about whether or not I like Slipknot, and the answer is yes. Saw them live some years back. They were pretty darn good. They weren't bad at all. Uh, Probably one of the greatest concert experiences I've ever had, right up there with Rammstein. I came out of there saying they might be better than Rammstein. You know what? Equal between the two. Yep, equal between the two. So, news of the day. I want to get back to. So, people keep talking about Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and everybody gets mad about this force healing thing that goes on. Force healing's been a thing the whole way through. Take it from a Star Wars nerd. So, Obi-Wan used force healing in Star Wars. Now, depending on which version of history you're looking at, when the Sand People knock down Luke there, and Obi-Wan goes to him, puts a hand on it, he's healing him. He's using force healing to heal him. Now, it's not as amazing as what we're seeing in current Disney movies because they didn't have the budget. But yeah, it's force healing that Obi-Wan was using at that stage to bring Luke around that he had been knocked unconscious or worse. And I actually I remember the original Star Wars game that you had a bunch of cards for the game, expensive too, $100 a box at the time. And that one of the common cards was force healing, and it was Obi-Wan, and it was you could revive somebody. I don't understand why people get so mad about stuff that it's been there. Not only that, but I wanted to mention in Dark Empire, which was set after Return of the Jedi, where Palpatine comes back magically through cloning. Palpatine created a Super Star Destroyer using the Force, and Luke used the Force to bring a Star Destroyer down to the ground. So he just used the Force to pull it down. Because again, right, it doesn't matter the size of the object. Yoda says that size doesn't matter. You can use the Force to influence anything. So by that measure, yeah, Jedi could have just gone, "Oh, this is a nice, huge group of ships you got here. This fleet, it'd be a shame if oh, it all just got squashed. We are the Jedi. Get out of here." So again, I understand people thinking it's kind of silly, but it's been a part of Star Wars lore forever. And yeah, the Jedi have these powers that are they nerf everything else that they're around. It's kind of what happens. It's sort of like the speed running you see in Phantom Menace, and then you never see it again. Even though there's plenty of times where a Jedi would probably find that handy to use that speed running, and jumping really high. They use that a couple of times, but only a couple of times, and then outside of that, oh, we forgot how. So I've got the high ground, Annie. And no, that wouldn't matter if he used his force jump, but that's okay. We only use that when it's convenient for the script. I think people take Star Wars way too seriously. I do. I don't think it's meant to be taken that seriously. There isn't science behind Star Wars. Star Trek, absolutely. Star Trek, you can go over it scientifically and go, that doesn't work or that does. But yeah, Star Wars, nah, it's just meant to be a soap opera in space kind of thing. Like it was based around the idea of the family. The Skywalker family is what George Lucas originally intended for the whole thing to be about. Anything else was just sort of yeah, it's fine. And it was the old the samurai movies and then World War II dogfights and stuff like that. It really wasn't meant to be taken that seriously, but people just get so bogged down in that doesn't work because back in episode 5 we saw this, and episode 8 clearly lost the whole narrative from episode 4 with we lost the narrative when the Ewoks showed up. Let's be honest, Yvonne's not here, she's outside, so I can say straight out Star Wars lost the narrative when the Ewoks showed up. That was going to be the Wookiee planet, and then they went, we'll make it teddy bears. That's the end of it. Apparently, there's going to be a prequel Shining TV series that's going to be coming out on HBO Max. So we're going to see more and more of these online subscription services. We'll see how many of them survive. And it's going to be called Overlook, and it's going to be a prequel. So Caretaker Wanted, there you go. There's your series right there. And it should be good. If it's about the Grady family, we know how that turns out. If it's going to be set back in the 1920s, it could be very interesting. It could be quite the series. And in the 1920s, they were kind of coming out of what we're dealing with right now. So you could have some creativity with that. And then J.J. Abrams, who's been connected to that series, has also been connected to, for HBO Max, Justice League Dark. And that series is on its way. So another DC series. I do wonder if they're overstuffing DC series in. Like, I get it. The Arrowverse has worked out very well. And the series that that we've seen on other streaming services have done well. Titans is excellent, but I do wonder if they're overreaching at this point. Batwoman looks Supergirl has really lost its way. And it's, well, okay, I'll put it this way. Supergirl's still looking for itself. Like, I enjoy the show at parts, and Melissa Benoist is fantastic, but they just, anyways, there's a good story in there, I swear. John Cryer's not Lex Luthor. And apparently there's already a Green Lantern series coming too. I'm guessing Ryan Reynolds is not putting on the green suit again. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, even though I haven't looked into any of the casting, it will not be Ryan Reynolds that's wearing the suit for Green Lantern. Green Lantern was my favorite of the superheroes back in Super Friends days, back in the, I want to say, late 70s, early 80s, when that was my favorite cartoon ever. Although, let's be honest, you call the Super Friends, you're like, Super Friends, we're in trouble. We need help. The building's going to fall on us. And you're thinking, okay, they'll send Superman. They'll send Batman. Maybe the Flash will show up and really quickly get us out of here. Wait, the Wonder Twins are here? Oh, we're so dead. We're so screwed. That was the one thing in Green Lantern I always thought was awesome. And I thought Green Lantern and Superman should just be the Justice League. I wasn't sure what... Although Batman has a lot of money and he has fun gadgets, I wasn't sure what everybody else brought that necessarily meant you couldn't... I mean, Barry Allen just screws everything up, so you can get rid of Barry Allen anytime. But a Green Lantern series, if it's done properly, not like the new movie was, and by new movie I mean the one that came out years ago, but if it's done properly, it can be really, really good. Green Lantern has a really good backstory. It's actually... I've always been very entertained by Green Lantern. The trick is to just do it properly. So here's to hoping, fingers crossed, that they do it properly. Now, I mentioned in a news video at one point that people were complaining that Parasite has subtitles on Hulu. I guess they could just take the subtitles away and just, it's in Korean. And you spend the whole movie going, this is really fascinating. It's really well shot. I have no idea what's happening or what anybody's saying, but it's interesting. I have not watched it yet, so just people know I haven't watched it yet. But it's breaking streaming records on Hulu. And Hulu, of course, is in the States. I'm in Canada. We don't have Hulu up here. So that's good. That's good. I would like to see, while we're in this age of everything being superheroes and really hyper action oriented, that we see a return to some really good, deep, longer movies. I think that would be nice. It'd be nice to see more of the foreign movies getting mainstream attention on this side of the world, because honestly, some of the greatest movies haven't necessarily been in English. I don't know how much of a secret that is, but I'll throw that out there. Some of the best movies haven't been in English. I want to also say I'm up to like the 5th episode as well for Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. I really want them to renew it. I'm really concerned because the ratings for it weren't great. Now, here's the thing. You have ratings, and then you have the ratings plus streaming numbers. So people who don't watch it live, which I didn't, and then found it after. So hopefully we're in an age now where those numbers that you add still matter, because they do pay attention to ratings, but hopefully the numbers from the add-on, so streaming this does really well. The idea that you can throw that on a streaming service and it'll perform pretty well. Now NBC has a new streaming service coming out, Peacock, and I don't know. It launches in July. Apparently there's a new Punky Brewster series coming out with Punky as the adult, which is good because she's 43. She's around the same age as me, so she's not going to be able to pull off the cute little kid thing anymore. And that'll be interesting too, because Soleil Moon Frye, I really thought that woman was going to be a star, and then it just didn't happen. Kid stars just like that. But I really thought, this girl's going to be a superstar at some point. The show was on for 4 years, and then, So I'll be interested to see what they do with it. Hopefully it's not too cutesy. Hopefully it's something a little more grown up. And there's also talk of other shows being resurrected. If I do wonder, okay, so you're trying to launch a brand new streaming platform. It's tough because right now people don't have a great budget. That's why I've got dots after the July, because how many people in July are going to be thinking, I've got money to put into more online streaming? And it's going to further fracture things. So they'll pull their stuff off of other platforms, and then it'll be exclusively on theirs. So this is why when people are like, just cut cable, it'll be fine. Everything's on this streaming service, so you can use this, whether it's Netflix or whatever. Well, eventually networks are going to figure it out and go, well, we're making less money by giving our stuff to them. We should sell it to them directly. We don't have to worry about a middleman. We don't have to worry about rights issues. We can just directly make the money off the customer that way, and then we don't care if the network's ratings are down. Which means, going back to Zoe's extraordinary playlist, that may very well help that show. If your production costs are low, you don't need to cancel the show. You might say, you know what, we'll just leave it in a time slot where we know it's not going to do very well, but we get the numbers after people watch this show on streaming services, and so we'll keep it around. I really think that's part of what kept Supernatural around as long as it did. So we'll see what they do. We'll see if more shows get canceled, but it just feels like it's a lot. Like even now, when we've got all this downtime, there are so many different networks and streaming services. I just kind of go, hi. And I watch what I've been watching, and that's that. I don't have, and I mean, obviously I make videos most of the day. I don't have all of the time in the world to spend catching up on absolutely everything. So I have to pick and choose. And I think that's where we're going to see an issue with the streaming services. I think Disney Plus has an excellent chance of being, I would say, standing alone with Netflix, and maybe the network services that we see, whether it's CBS All Access, Peacock, which is launching, whatever else. Maybe I don't know, they come together and form some kind of cable TV package. I know it's a crazy idea, right? I don't know that any of these streaming services will last for very long. But let me know what you guys think. So, Red Letter Media did a really fun video where they were talking about all the streaming services, and it's insane. There are a ridiculous number of streaming services. There's Prime Video, which probably sticks around. I can't see them going out either because Amazon, I think, does well enough on their Prime to keep supplying that. There's Shudder, which is for horror fans. And there's a lot. There are a lot of different services. And for me, I have to pick and choose. So I've got my Amazon Prime that I pay yearly. I've got Netflix. I've got Disney Plus, which is used mostly by my wife and kids. And we have Crave TV through our cable provider, and that's pretty much as far as we can go because it just gets to be a bit much after that. It just does. It's too many things to keep track of, and you're not going to be able to watch everything, right? So I'd be interested to know what you guys think. How far can these wars between all of these streaming services go before it just gets ridiculous? Because it's going to end up costing more money than cable is what's going to happen. So, but you could get all your basic cable for $20. Well, now you're going to pay like $5 for each network or $4 for each network. And even though you're going to have access to their back catalogs, at some point you're going to be like, I don't know if I want to watch Charlie's Angels from 1978. I don't know if I want to watch $60 Million Man today. Because that's going to be the sequel to $6 Million Man, right? And I don't know if I want to watch Love Boat because being on a cruise. I've even told my wife we're never going on a cruise. Based on what's going on in the world right now, I will never get on a cruise ship. And I was already on the fence based on all of the dysentery stories from cruise ships from the last few years and there was a fire kind of stuff. I just call them death boats now. I'm not doing it. It's not happening. I'm never getting on a cruise ship. There's no way. You can put Mickey ears on it all you want. It's no, not going to happen. All right. Let me know what you guys think about that too. Sure, fine. We'll talk about that as well. And with the WWE thing, I don't have anything to really add today. We know that there were bookers that got laid off as well and writers. It would appear that the staff, the backstage guys, are furloughed. They will likely be brought back. But the contract wrestlers, who are, of course, independent contractors, they are free to go wherever they want. And Carl Anderson's already teasing that NJPW is where they're headed, and I agree. In New Japan, Gallows and Anderson were absolutely over the top, over with the crowd, and it worked, and I wish them the best in that. And then there are hints and rumors regarding others, but we haven't really heard anything concrete yet because most of these companies are not exactly in the hiring stage of things, but we'll see what they do. Again, with repackaging and all that, which has to happen anyway, sometimes a wrestler that gets jettisoned from one company becomes a star for another. So we'll see which ones become the stars. Let me know your thoughts regarding that too. Sure. hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for all your support and for watching. Remember, stay home, stay safe, stay clean, meaning washing your hands. And I will talk to you guys again soon. And yeah, I'm not covering up the scratch I got from Shadow yesterday. It just goes all the way around. That's just... Anyways, he still feels bad, I think. We'll see. All right, I will talk to you guys again soon. And remember, we are planning a live stream today on this channel, likely using Major League Baseball. But it's been a really busy day. Yvonne's been distributing masks and trying to do a little bit of shopping here and there. And I was getting low on my pops, so I've made like orders through. There's like a Walmart waiting period right now, so I had to order it for Saturday because not going in the store. So just order it for pickup, that kind of thing. And when I tried doing it for Save On Foods, the earliest I could pick up groceries was 13 days from now. They're booked for the next 13 days. So this is the new reality. And we all live in it, but we'll get through it. Thanks again for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.